I'm Jerry Eisterhold, the owner of TerraVox, or as I sometimes say, TerraVox owns me. My day job is designing museums. Museums are all about telling stories and helping visitors figure out what these stories have to offer us today. I think of Vox as a kind of living museum of American native grapes. They still have a long and complicated story, and they still have a lot to tell us. When I found out about Missouri's heritage of grape growing and winemaking, that was virtually destroyed by Prohibition. I decided there was an unfinished and untold story there to investigate. And that story has value to give us today, and that value comes out of diversity and also about how a particular place is expressed through the stuff that comes from it. I grew up in a German household in mid-Missouri in a culture where nearly everyone made wine. I studied agronomy and soil scientists at the University of Missouri, and that has stood me in good stead here when we selected this property. When I stumbled on Thomas William Munson's book in 1987, something clicked. I decided to find a place near Kansas City that had the right soil to support the grapevines that would allow me to explore these American native grapes and what they could do. When we moved here in 1996, we started to search for these grapes. We got some cuttings from Munson's old vineyard in Texas, from a germ bank at UC Davis. We got grapes from a collector in Washington State, some other vineyards around the country, some from George Munch's vineyard in Augusta, Missouri, which is, of course, where the Munch grape was propagated. We wanted to see what would grow here. It took 12 years to get about a dozen vines of 60 varietals. We're winnowing those down to about 40, and ideally we'll get down to about 20 that we think are the best suited for this location that make the best wines. This is an experiment, and sometimes when you do an experiment, the answer is no. Some of the wines were, frankly, not that good, and some I just didn't like. So I think the reason that the wines that we make now are getting better and better is because a lot of stuff has gone down the drain, because we have to be quite rigorous about what we want to put out there that represents the best of what these grapes and wines have to offer. What does the story of America's native grape have to offer us today? We here at TerraVox are trying to figure that out.